You are what success looks like. Let's go.
I believe in my heart is that black and brown males can graduate high school at 80, 90, and 100%. I believe that's possible. So, for a leader, you have to really have the will and the skill. People might have the will and then they get burnt out because they don't have the skill.
Because it was by the grace of God that I was successful. When you put the right supports in place and you put a culture of love, I promise you the babies to do all things through Christ who strengthens them, right?
Hey, you all, this is Pastor Still. Listen, I'm so excited about my friend's book, Dr. Marck Abraham. Listen, make sure you get your hands on this book. I believe this book is going to be life-changing. We had such an awesome time with him at Kingdom Church. He did an excellent job speaking about the book. And I really believe that education can literally help break the back of that spirit that tries to stop us from learning. So make sure you get your hands on that.
I'm sorry. Good morning. 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 How are you doing? What's good? Happy Friday. What's good? What's good? What's good? How we doing? How your mama them? How your auntie them? How your cousin them? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Yep. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So if you don't know who this is Dr. Marck Abraham. I'm the president and CEO of MEA Consulting Services, LLC, the fastest growing consulting company in the country. And I am the numero uno success speaker in the world. And I'm so blessed to be here today with my success family. Somebody said, what's the success family? This is a group of individuals that always win, always have success, always figure it out. This is some of the most amazing people in the universe. And I'm so blessed to be here today with you. So we're gonna jump right into it because I have a few things that I got to get done this morning. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Catch up. If you got to watch this over, watch this over. Lord bless me. Think through my mind, speak to my lips. Let it be all of you and none of me, Father. Help me. In Jesus' name, amen. So today we're gonna talk about money. We're going to talk about some money, some paper, some Skrilla, some Fetty, some dough, some greenbacks, that big faces, that mozzarella, that army green, that navy blue, that Derlajon, that moolah, that bread, that cheese, whatever we're going to talk about today, right? I think it's an important conversation. Now, I'm not even suggesting even a little bit that I'm a guru on money, that I'm a guru on finances. But I know a little something. One thing I find it to be very comical. It's like when I look at the United States, sometimes I find it to be comical. You know, it's like a poor person telling you how to be rich. It's like a you know. I think the system in the United States is kind of hypocritical, right? It's like they're like, you got to get out of debt. It's like United States, you're in trillions of dollars of debt. Like, what are you talking about? You got to do everything right, work hard, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You mean like our ancestors did? The ones that had slaves, like how they worked hard? Oh. You mean like the banks did, like, that were raping countries to pay them, just like work hard like that? Like, you mean like your forefathers who was like the Rockefellers and selling drugs, and like those type of work hard people? Like, what are we talking about right now? So I find sometimes the things that we hear about, finances in this country is hypocritical at best. At like, just what, and we have a system that they're judging you on, like how you pay your debt back. But America, you don't even pay your debt back. If somebody called in your debt right now, you would shoot them. You'd be like, you know what? You don't want to give us any more debt. We're gonna go to war. That will be the solution to the debt. So now we have us as people who are trying to do everything right because they told us to do everything right. Trying to fit into a system that does not even work the way they said it should work. I'm not knocking credit. You got to have credit. You have to fit in the system, but you have to be of the world. I mean, in the world, but not of the world, right? You got to be in. You got to use their system, but you don't have to be bought into the system the way they want you to use it. I remember the Lord told me this a long time ago. He said, "Son, I'm not a credit king. I'm a cash and gold king." So, number one is, the way you look at credit has to change. The way we look at credit has to change. I know people who are very, very, very stuck on, man, I need perfect credit. I need perfect credit. Not understanding that the credit really should be used as a tool to get you money. The good credit, just sitting around having prestigious good credit, is not the answer. You're just walking around toting, man, I got great credit. I got great credit. Well, that don't help you. Our problems are, a lot of our problems are, we need more money to operate, right? And so when you walk around just saying, I got good credit, and you sitting there monitoring your credit, but you're struggling to pay your bills, that's the issue, right? Because you should be using your credit, leveraging your good name to get money so that you can live a better lifestyle. But if you have credit and credit alone, and your credit is not helping you get more money, then what's the purpose of it? So credit should be used to get us money, to make us money. We shouldn't just be walking around with a big head talking about we got good credit, right? Make sure what's important is that we pay ourselves. That we pay ourselves. If you look at your bank account, you will see a significant amount of people being paid. If you work a traditional job, Uncle Sam take his right off top. Uncle Sam taking his right off top. He's gonna make sure he get paid. He don't care nothing about what you got going on. If you're a person in child support system and they got you and they taking your wages, they getting paid right up front. Medicaid, all these people, they getting paid up front. And then once you get your paycheck, you look at your paycheck, and then it's like, all right, I gotta pay, the light bill, the gas bill, the water bill, the rent, the mortgage, the car note, the car insurance, blah, 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 blah. And then when you look at it, you're like, man, I paid everybody. I'm keeping the good credit going. But then you are financially dry, or just have a little bit to your pocket for the next 2 weeks. And then now you're back at the rat race on the hamster wheel, going after that money again for the job. I always say jobs are just over broke. They give you enough money to keep you working. They give you enough money to be able to keep you working for the job that you have. It's just over broke, right? Every 2 weeks they give you that next paycheck. My thing is always been making sure that we pay ourselves, making sure that you understand that if you have good credit is to leverage, not just to be a consumer. We've we've taken good credit just to be consumer. Well, I could get a nice interest rate on my car and I can get a nice house. Well, your credit should be used to make money. It should be leveraged to make money. When you're looking at your bills, there should be a time where you pay yourself where everything ain't going to everybody else, and feel comfortable with some people not getting paid so that you can pay yourself. You know how many companies owe me money? You know how many companies owe me money? And they don't walk around trepidatiously. They're not like, oh man, we got this debt out here for Dr. Abraham. We got to make sure, they're not walking around trepidatious. They're saying, hey, we got a contract. We will pay you. It's okay. Relax. Your money's coming. It might come for 6 months. It might come for 3 months. But at the end of the day, we're going to pay you. They're going to make sure that their operating budget is clean so that they can make sure that they make payroll every month. If it was between paying me and making payroll, they're going to make payroll. They'll just take care of me. I'm a little guy. They're going to take care of me later. And so what I'm telling you is you got to make sure that your payroll is set, which is you. You have to be the person that's getting paid and making sure that you have money in your pocket. Now, this gets me to this point, and this is really what I'm trying to get to. The key for us, man, is making more money, right? Is making more money. Like you got to make more money. You got to bring in more cash into your sphere. You know, one source of income. And you hear people say this, but one source of income is not sufficient in 2023. You need to have multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. And these multiple streams of income should be such as passive sources of income, meaning money that comes in that you're not actually working for. That your money has worked for you and that your money is going to attract more money. That your money is going to act as a conduit or a magnet for more money to come to you. So if you got good credit, your credit should be used to leverage your money, leverage your name to get money so that you can make more money. Your credit isn't just there so you can just walk around and say, man, I got good credit, right? When you're getting paid, if you got an every 2-week paycheck, stop paying everybody first and then you get the crumbs. That don't help you. You work 40, 50 hours and some of y'all got paid today and you got all these automatic debits coming out. And then now you're down to like zero and now you don't have enough money to survive for the rest of the 2 weeks. Man, if I got to owe you and still live, meaning like I owe you, Mr. Light Company. I'll take care of you later, right? There's a grace period on every bill that you owe. They don't just immediately shut your stuff off, right? You want to make sure that you have money in your pocket, that you have money that you can move. You don't want to be cash poor. It is very, very, very difficult to do anything or survive or to make good decisions when your account is at zero or your account is going into the negative, right? But here's a piece where you need to get to. We need passive income. We need things that will generate income for you while you are going out there working. Well, what did Robert Kiyosaki said? He said there was about 4 ways that people become wealthy. 4 ways people become wealthy. Now, this is my own belief, but I don't believe even people who are working for a company making $1 million, $2 million, the company will always give you enough money to keep you as an employee. They're not going to give you so much money where you can no longer be an employee. That's bad business for them. So they want to give you enough so that you can still come back and come to work on Monday. That's why they don't give you all your money up front. Not that they don't have it, but they don't do that because they want to make sure that they keep you working on that hamster wheel, right? So I hope this stuff is making sense to you, because I really, this is really important. This is really, really important. So you need passive income. You need money that makes money for you. You know, and Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talked about 4 ways you become wealthy. Number 1, stocks and bonds, insurances, things like that. Number 2, you got real estate. Number 3, you got the what's the online stuff that people do, the stock market. And number 4, you have intellectual property. So you got intellectual property. You got the Wall Street, the stocks and bonds stuff. You got the IP, and then you have the life insurance and those type of things, right? So the way you make passive income is taking your money or pooling your money in with somebody else, or partnering with somebody else and going to get something that'll make you money. What I learned is, and what I'm learning is, intellectual property is a phenomenal way to make money. It is a phenomenal way to make money. You know, IP, intellectual property. You know, you have a book that you've written. You have a online store, you know, that you have. You have something that people can pay you while you're not physically having to show up, right? They pay you while you're not physically showing up. You know, having a book on Amazon and then selling that book, that is a great way to get a return on investment. Intellectual property. Now, the thing that we hear about the most, at least in my sphere, I hear about the most, is the real estate, right? The real estate. Now, oftentimes with the real estate, there is a higher threshold or a higher barrier for entry. You know, most times in a real estate deal, and please stop listening to these people on Instagram tell you all this crazy stuff, man. Man, you could get a house, 500,000, no money down, and just start cash flowing. And you take this money and you put this money, and then bam, you cash flowing. Man, if it was that easy, everybody would do it, man. Well, all you gotta do is get an EIN number, get a loan from this bank, take that same EIN number and get a loan from this bank, and you got $1 million because you took 4 $250,000 loans. Man, what if you could get a loan for $250,000 from each bank off your EIN number? Everybody be getting it. Your EIN number, you the personal guarantor on the EIN number, meaning that if your credit ain't no good, they looking at you use the EIN number, and you're guaranteeing the EIN number. I mean, I'm sorry for those who don't know. EIN number is an employee identification number. It's the number you get when you are a business, when you open up a business, right? And so these people are just saying these nonsensical things that sound good for sound bites, but they are some of the most fraudulent, ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. But, you know, when you are in desperation and you're hungry and you're broke or you're struggling financially and you're looking for answers, you will take something that you know sounds too good to be true and try it out of the sense of desperation. right? That's how you scam people. If you scam people based off of their desires, out of their lack, you know, this why Bible says be anxious for nothing, right? Because when you're in the point of being anxious, then you'll do things that you wouldn't normally do because you just hungry for it, right? So passive income, real estate. This is the one we hear about the most. Oftentimes, real estate is the thing that people talk to you about. Now, you know, think about real estate and think about the passive income with regards to rent, right? So say you buy a property that is 300,000. Say the property is 300,000. Say you buy something nice, a condo or a townhouse, something like that. Oftentimes in these nice places, they have, you're going to be hit with the water bill, the garbage fee. So let me break it down a little bit more. Say you got a condo, because everybody was doing these Airbnbs at the beginning, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, Airbnb, Airbnb," and then they even said some stuff like, "You don't even have to buy a house. You could just rent an apartment and then Airbnb it." What? That is illegal as illegal comes. Again, stop listening to these social media financial experts. They are crazy, man. They are insane. Just rent an apartment, fill it with furniture, and then Airbnb it and make a killing. What? What? Your lease literally says you are the only one that's going to be using the place. It's not yours. So the fact that you are rotating the apartment that you rented and letting other people use it is you're violating your lease. The owner can call in your lease once you violate it. That's why you signed that binding agreement called a lease. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so say you buy a townhouse and the townhouse is 400,000. Well, what do you got to put down to get that $400,000 house? Right? You're probably, if you did a conventional loan, you're gonna probably have to put down 20%. Well, Doc, what's 20% of 400,000? Because you're talking about investment. We're not talking about your property that you're living in. Well, what's 20% of 400,000? You're looking at close to $80,000 that you got to come to closing with just for the down payment, legal fees, blah 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 blah. You're probably looking at somewhere $90,000 that you got to come in. You put $90,000 down. If you're going to use the passive income model of rent, then you say, well, I put $90,000 down. After taxes, HOAs, and fees and everything like that, my mortgage might be $3,000, give or take. So you then get a tenant in there paying you $3,500, give or take. So now you're cash flowing $500 a month. Well, you're not really cash flowing yet because you put down over $90,000. If it's an Airbnb, if the HOA allows for it, which HOAs oftentimes don't allow for Airbnbs, then what happens is you're paying now the HOA fee, and then now you're going to have to do something illegal to get people in there. Because you're, again, breaking the rules of the HOA that is, saying this is what you have to do. And so now you're cash flowing $500, give or take. If there's anything that happens to the property, you're responsible for it. So, and you think about it, so, well, I'm getting $3,500. Well, you're getting $3,500, but really the mortgage is $3,000. So you're really, if you look at it, you're cash flowing $6,000 a year, right? Because 5 times 10 is 5,000, plus 2 more is 1,000 and 6,000. And that's 6,000. If nothing doesn't happen to it, if everything is good, you're cash flowing 6,000. Now that might not sound great, but 6,000 compounding over 3 years is 18,000. Over 10 years is 60,000. Over 20 years is 120,000. So it's really gonna take you to get your initial financial investment. Your initial financial investment about 20 years to see that return on the initial $90,000 you got to bring in. Is this making sense for you? So, but what we need though is we need income coming in that you're not having to physically show up for. So if you drop, 45, 50,000, the $50,000 in a real estate deal is a lot better than 45,000 sitting in your bank, because you're not going to make that return on investment on such a small amount of money. Now, if you have, 100 million in the bank, then, the interest rates and what you could do with the money is going to make you a lot more money. And then you go from there. But the thought process is you have to create opportunities that allow you to make money without you showing up. And you need multiple sources of income. Right? You need multiple sources of income, because the multiple sources of income is really what's going to allow you to be free to not have the pain of, running out of money every single month. Your job is a great source of income. This is why I'm always telling y'all, man, unless you really, 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 really know what you want to do, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, don't leave that good source of income. Like, stay there, build whatever it is you're going to build. Once that thing that you're building starts to cash flow or make you some money, then make the jump. Don't be such in a haste to try to make a jump to be an entrepreneur if you don't have, something that's generating some sort of income. So the reason why I'm leaning more to intellectual property is because oftentimes the barrier entry is a lot lower, and then the return on investment can be a lot higher. So if you have a shirt that you make and you just say, man, I'm selling this shirt for $30, it's work. But if you just think about it and say, well, if I sell 20 shirts at $30, what's that? 600? And I can do that consistently every month. I look at how much the shirts cost me. The shirts might cost me, $5 to make if I'm making it that bulk. And then, so that means I'm clearing $15 a shirt. And if I do that every single month, 30 times, I'm making $450 every month. You're literally making the same amount of money every month that you would have made on that big real estate deal, without the barrier of entry being so high. Now, I love real estate. I really do. I love real estate. But sometimes I'll be looking at, man, if you can make something that value while you're keeping your job, that people can then get involved in and get engaged with, then you still have a source of income that's coming in, especially once you create your system, that the barrier entry isn't so high. Because real estate, no matter what people say, the barrier entry is always going to be something that is not going to be comfortable. And if you're struggling right now, and this is what people say, well, man, how am I going to find this money to doggone get into real estate? And they struggle and they just feel hopeless and say, well, I don't have it. And I will say this: if you have a 403B or 401k, if you're like, yeah, I really need to get in real estate, the 401k, the 403B will allow you to tap your retirement to go buy a piece of property. But just be careful. Make sure it's the right property, right? Because you buy the wrong property, um, you know, then it's a headache. Now there's again multiple source ways of doing things. Like there's also, you know, cars. Like I know people who buy cars and then they flip cars, right? So essentially, what I'm saying is you need multiple sources of income. I would venture to tell people they should be looking to have anywhere between 5 to 8 different sources of income. They don't have to be big whops, but they should be, well, I got the t-shirts that I know is gonna make me $500 a month. I got the vending machine that I know is gonna make me $700 a month. I got the one real estate property that I'm gonna gross $600 a month. I got this business that's my, you see what I mean? You got multiple sources of income. And once your multiple sources of income can sustain your lifestyle, where you're making more money off of the multiple sources of income than you're netting, or at least 90% of what you're netting where you're an employee, then I would say let's have the conversation of you leaving your job. If your sources of income can net at about 90% of what you're making as an employee, then I would suggest now look at possibly leaving the employee job and doing something different. But if your assets that are bringing in income cannot sustain your lifestyle and can't pay for your bills, then I would strongly suggest that you do not make that jump as of yet. I'm just being honest. I love you, so I'm always trying to be honest with you. So the money you got paid today, before you go and pay all them people who are billionaires, billion-dollar corporations, before you pay all those people, think about cutting a slice out for you, and not the slice that you taking to the club, not the slice you buying a new outfit. It's not about, I want you to be fly. I want you to have a good time. I get that. But your money needs to be used to get you some assets. Your credit needs to be used to get you some assets, to get you some things that's going to create wealth and going to create money for you. And if this stuff is sounding foreign and you're like, Doc, I really don't understand this, um, again, Rich Dad Poor Dad is an amazing book. He talks about the importance of getting assets versus liabilities, the things that make you money versus the things that pull money from you. Listen, one more thing. Before you go buy something, say you want a new car, go buy something that's going to help you pay for the new car. Don't just get the new car and then have that new car drain and pull on your one source of income. I need a new car. I got my good credit. You go get your good credit, you'll get your new car, and now that car is draining on the one source of income you have. You got good credit, leverage that credit. Use that credit to pull you. Let me give you an example. I went to a credit union one time, and I got a $25,000 loan, personal loan, guaranteed, for a 5-year personal loan for $25,000. I took that $25,000 and went to go buy this is back in the day. I went to go buy a house. There was a deal on a house, and I bought that house for $30,000 cash. I took the $25,000 from the bank that was guaranteed to my name, and I bought a piece of real estate for $30,000. I put about $5,000 in the work in it. That property back in the day was cash flowing me about $1,200 a month. It was grossing $1,200 a month. I had the tenant paying their own water bill and their own light, so it was $1,200 a month outside of taxes, clean. So you do the math. I put $32,000, $35,000 into it, give or take, at cash flowing at $1,200 a month times 12, you're looking at 14,000, 14,400. You do 14,400 for the term of the loan, which was 5 years. And in 5 years, you've cash flow $72,000 on a $30,000 loan that was personally guaranteed, and the house don't have a lien on it at all. So you see, you take your credit, you go leverage it, go pull money out of some source. But what we do is we take our credit, go get credit cards to go pay some bills. Or we take our credit and go get a personal loan to go pay some debt off. No, take your credit that's good, go use the money to go buy an asset that's going to generate income. Let that asset start to generate income, and then you pay that loan off, and then now you have a piece of property that's cash flowing for the rest of your life. So if you do that same, if you just kept the numbers at 1,200 times 12 times 10 years, you make $144,000 on a $35,000 investment. Those numbers are crazy, right? And so when you think about it, this is why, I look at mortgages sometimes and say, oh man, those terms are crazy. Because if you think about it, when you get these nice, beautiful houses that you just love to buy, you put down on your house. Think about how much you put down. Say you put down $15,000, $20,000 on your house, and say your mortgage is $1,000 a month. You pay $1,000 a month. You know how much your house is, times 12, times 30, plus whatever you put down. You've paid over $400,000 for a house, and if a house is about $1,000 a month, then more than likely that house is around $150,000, $200,000 at best. You're paying 2 to 3 times more than what that house costs. So, did this make sense to y'all? Did you get this? Assets. So, you you have to work these things out. You have to figure these things out. Meaning, like, you gotta toy with, and then you gotta think about your the stomach, what you can handle. There's levels, right? If you're a person who works 9 to 5 and that's what you do, if this sounds foreign to you, then again, just go pick up the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. I think it's a great book. Or maybe one of them investments for dummies type books, right? If you're somebody who understands investments and you haven't got into it yet, but you got to work in knowledge, like I said yesterday, stop thinking so much, right? Get into it. Now, I can finish this more, but when people say OPM, other people's money, how they explaining is wrong oftentimes. And then also understand that if you don't have money, then you need credit. And your credit, you can work with other people to make things happen. If you don't have credit, you need money. If you don't have money or credit, you need wisdom, right? You need something that's going to generate your income. So if you don't have credit, it ain't the worst thing. You need cash. If you don't have cash, you need credit. If you don't have credit or cash, you need wisdom. You need to be able to put people together, right? And then that's it. There's so much more I want to say, but we really have 40 minutes, and 40 minutes without even doing any of the things that we do in the morning time. So let's end it here. If you want me to continue this conversation, I will. Just let me know, inbox me. But we talking money today. We talking money today because I see a lot of folks struggling at the end of the month. And it's the beginning of the month. I see a lot of people struggling, and it's because I think you put too much weight on that one source of income, right? And then you have these ideas like, oh man, I want to open up a car dealership, or I want to get, if I got 15 properties, my problems will be A-okay. No, they won't. 15 problems come with 15 tenants, come with 15 mortgages, come with 15 taxes, come with 15 water bills, come with 15 doors, come with 15 problems, come with 15 issues from the city, come with, like, trust me. Don't just be thinking these things that, you know, like, oh, all I need is this. There is no all I need. There is no that's all I need to be successful. That don't exist, man. I thought, like, remember, I thought when I said, when I get to this many doors, oh man, life is gonna be good. It wasn't. It wasn't. Oh, and when I get a property out of state, life is gonna be good. It ain't. It ain't. It's not, man. It's not. So, repeat this after me. 2023 is my year. I am blessed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above only and not beneath. Everything my hand touches prospers. I am a multi-millionaire for the kingdom of God. God loves me. I'm wealthy. I'm rich. In Jesus' name, amen. Family, love you. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Hey, if you have not got a copy of my new book, I'm telling you, people are reading it. I just had a guy talk to me. He said, Doc, I could not put your book down. He said, I know it's for teens, but I couldn't put it down, man. I couldn't put it down. He said, man, this book is amazing. I told you I had something hot. So if you haven't got that book, inbox me. I'll send you the link and I'll send it out to you. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Peace.